Welcome everyone to the All Things Bucks podcast. I am your co-host Corey Hayes. You can follow me on Twitter at Corey_Hayes407.
And it's your co-host CJ. Follow me at CoreyJ863.
And today we're going to be doing the Week 17 recap of the Bucks and Falcons. Of course, we all know the Buccaneers lost once again.
Good
With
loss
me
though.
in attendance. With me in
Loss.
attendance. With me in attendance.
What
So that
quarter?
means
What
I'm
quarter? What
0
quarter
and
y'all lose
13
to
in my
the
last
Eagles?
13. 0 and 13 in my last 13. So I don't know, but there's some good news that came out of it. You always hate to see somebody get fired, but head coach Dirk Cutter was canned right after the game, so that is a positive for the organization moving forward. Like they had been talking about before, the organization was already looking to move forward about 3 weeks ago, and it finally happened yesterday. And to be honest, it sucks to see somebody lose their job. It always does, but it's a business. And Dirk Cutter, it's not like Dirk Cutter is going to be unemployed for long because right now he's the front runner to become the Falcons offense coordinator. So it looks like he's going back to Atlanta to be the Falcons offensive coordinator. And I knew that information yesterday because an unnamed source told me. And today news came out that it looks like he's going back to Atlanta.
Yeah, he's the front runner for that gig. It's his job to lose in Atlanta. He definitely has the weapons in Atlanta, just like he had in Tampa, to run that high flying pass first offense. Maybe with Devontae Freeman coming back and with Tevin Coleman, he'll run the ball more with Atlanta. But he definitely didn't do that here in Tampa, and that ultimately was one of the big reasons why he's no longer the coach here in Tampa Bay.
Well, you also got to remember that Tevin Coleman is a free agent after this season, so it doesn't even look like Tevin Coleman is going to be there with Atlanta when Dirk
Oh,
Cutter gets there.
he
So
probably owned it. Oh,
Dirk
he gone.
Cutter, Dirk Cutter, Dirk Cutter is going to use that vertical offense once again and have Matt Ryan produce big numbers, which he's known to have since he took over in Tampa. We've had great offenses, and nothing against Dirk Cutter, but we've said this before. He is a great offensive coordinator. But as a head coach, he is not good, especially because of his game management. Dirk Cutter game management had to have been the worst game management I've ever seen out of a Buccaneers head coach.
Yeah, man. When it comes to the NFL, it's not even a game of inches, man. It's a game of centimeters. It's a game of
Yeah,
decisions. It's a game of planning and winning every quarter for the whole 60 minutes and even into overtime if it comes down to that. And Dirk Cutter, for some reason, he just didn't have it. He didn't have it to get the team over the hump. He put up the big numbers. He put the offense in position to put up record-breaking franchise numbers, the best
hmm
offense that this franchise has ever seen. But overall, there's still three phases to the game. You got offense, you got defense, you got special teams. And he lacked on the defensive side. He held on to Mike Smith for too long. And our special teams, we've never had that edge on special teams. On his whole tenure, we had a kicking problem. And that's a
yep,
problem. That will lose you games in the NFL. In one score games, missing kicks, missing extra points, you games. So, and that's what and that's what sent him fishing. So
it absolutely has cost us plenty of games under Dirk Cutter. Special teams decided so many games in his 3 years as head coach, and if we would have had just an above average special teams game when he was the head coach, maybe we would have made the playoffs in those 3 years. So, and
that's
that goes to talk about the defense as well. The defense, if we would have had an above average defense or at least an average defense, then we probably would have made the playoffs as well.
without that switch from Mike Smith to Mike Duff, the defense was on pace to be the worst defense ever
hmm
in league history. Like the yardage they were allowing, the passer rating they were allowing to opposing quarterbacks was off the charts, and it was historically bad. It got so bad they were forced to fire Mike Smith over Dirk Cutter. Like it,
hmm
he had to go. And then the work that you saw with Duffner in the second half of the season showed you that we have talent on defense, even with the injuries, especially in the secondary. We lost both our starting safeties. Brent Grimes was out for a while. You have a rookie cornerback in
Brent
Carlton
Grimes was pretty much out for the year, even when he was on the field. So I'm going to put that out there right now.
Well, yeah, we know he mailed it in, but you saw those guys competing once Duffner took over the reign, brought a little bit more pressure, put the guys in position to be successful, and you saw the defense start turning it around a little bit more. And if we had that for the whole season, we might be talking different at this time.
Absolutely. And maybe Dirk Cutter still would have had his job as head coach if he made the right personnel decisions. And ultimately, he did not make the right personnel decisions, which is why he got his walking papers yesterday.
And that's just not cut out to be the head coach. That is as simple as that. In the words of as simple as that.
It is. And I want to thank everybody that's tuned in right now on YouTube. We appreciate you guys tuning in. I am in Florida, of course, right now. I'm on vacation. I went to the game yesterday, so I am out on my sister's porch recording this podcast. CJ is in his car doing the podcast. So it is, of course, New Year's Eve. We're just trying to stay away from the noise, but there will be some fireworks in the background. I can already hear them right now, so I apologize for that. And Marlon says, "What's up? What's up, Marlon? How you doing, man?
What's up, man?"
Yeah. So another thing that came out yesterday before the game even started, Jameis Winston is being retained as the Buccaneers quarterback next season. 2019 NFL season, Jameis Winston is the starting quarterback, which we have always agreed that it should have been that way the whole time. I have been hearing that Jameis Winston may be getting a long-term extension this offseason. That is still to be determined, but Jameis Winston may be getting a long-term extension this offseason, depending on the coach the Buccaneers bring in. And Jason Light had a press conference today that said he is not going to do it based on friendships and based on egos. He's going to do it based on what is best for the Buccaneers organization.
And
so
it should be.
It should be that way, and that is what happened with Dirk Cutter. Dirk Cutter let his friendships get in front of business, and that is why he is gone.
With Jameis Winston, what we saw from Jameis Winston once he got benched, he came back and he finished the second half of the season. In those games, you saw Jameis Winston taking better care of the football.
Mm-hmm.
You saw Jameis Winston making better decisions, checking down more, running more. Shoot, Jameis led the team in rushing yards a few games.
3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, so Jameis will to win. Jameis gives 100% on the field. Jameis has showed that he can win. He can win you some games, man. Jameis can put you in a position to win. It's just with this team, Jameis hasn't had a running game, a dependable running game since 2015 with Doug Martin.
Doug Martin was second in the NFL in rushing. Correct.
And Jameis has not had a defense to help him out
ever.
So as much as we want to, say Jameis ain't win up some games, Jameis ain't do this, everything can't be on Jameis. Because at the end of the day, these quarterbacks that are having success, they have a defense.
They have a good defense. Hell, if you're a shit quarterback, you still have a good defense, you're going to succeed. Just look at Marcus Mariota in Tennessee.
They got a good defense and they run the football, making it easier for your quarterback. It opens up the play action.
That's why Mariota averages like 120 yards a game, because they have a running game. They have a running game in Tennessee. So,
and you look at Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, he's one of the elite quarterbacks in the game. But you know what Pete Carroll does consistently?
Runs the ball.
He did throughout the season to make sure that he's ready for December football. Continue to run the football. Continue to run.
And they have a big-headed monster over there, so it's not like it's one person. They have like 3 or 4 running backs in Seattle that they continue to use, which is something that I would like to see the Bucs use in the future, because when you have a running back tandem, it's better than just having one single running back.
Exactly, and they lost so many pieces on their defense as well. But yet their defense is still producing and keeping them in game. It's all about
coaching. It's all about coaching.
And that's just great. And that's just great coaching. That's great coaching, putting your guys in position to be successful. And that's what the next head coach coming in needs to do for Jameis. That should be priority number 1. Make sure you get the line ready to run the football, make the throws, easier get guys to creep up. I don't think there's probably any game where a defense crept up 8 guys in the box because they didn't fear our running game.
Mm-hmm.
And just imagine Jameis putting up these numbers with defenses, knowing you're going to pass. So just imagine if defenses are left guessing what the offense is going to do. If they're going to run, if they're going to pass, they're putting 8 in the box. Jameis won't lick his chops, man. Jameis really going to flourish at that point in time. But you got to commit to the running game to give him that opportunity.
And he's definitely looking forward to that. He's looking forward to that opportunity. And Jason Light even said it in his press conference. The Buccaneers did not run the ball enough, and that is where they had a downfall. So Jason Light seems to agree that the Buccaneers need to get a head coach that is going to commit to running the football. So that is a positive, that whoever comes in as our head coach, Jason Light wants them to be a balanced head coach where you run and pass. You have to 100%. You have to be a balanced head coach.
There's only 2 quarterbacks that can really take you to where you want to go without a running game, and that would be the Patriots.
Who? Tom Brady. Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers when healthy. Maybe Drew Brees, but you even saw with them when they don't have a running game. Drew Brees still don't make the playoffs.
Yep.
Like, you have to run the football.
Yep.
It's elementary football 101. Like, you can't win without it. It just is what it is.
Marlon asked the question in the YouTube live chat. He says, how do we feel about the Chiefs offensive coordinator becoming the head coach? Well, Marlon, he has done an absolute amazing job right now with the pieces that he has in Kansas City, which is the reason why they're near the top of the NFL in all statistical categories. But he's still fairly new to the coordinator game. So in that aspect, I say no. The Buccaneers should not go after him. But would I be mad if they hired him as head coach? No. No, I would not.
Yeah, he's just a minor info that I know. I know he's a former running backs coach. Then he was the offensive coordinator, and he's the hot guy on, the list of candidates just due to the coaching tree that he's a part of and the success the other coordinators under Andy Reid has had going to other teams. So, they NFL teams like to reach back. Oh, this coaching tree is successful. Let's get this guy. Let's go get this guy who's up under him. I would be a little nervous with the hire just because he was his first time offensive coordinator, and everything's happening so fast for him. Just like with Dirk Cutter, everything was happening so fast. We had the successful year offensively under Lovie Smith with him with the running game, and then Lovie Smith gets fired, and then he gets promoted to head coach, but he wasn't cut out to be the head coach. So it could be that same type of situation with the guy from Kansas City. So I'm a little leery on that. But if Jason Light and this organization that they outsourced to help them with the coaching search feels that he will be the guy and bring in the right staff to get the team over the hump, then, we're going to ride with it. But honestly, I'm just a little leery of that.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm a little leery on bringing in a guy who may not be ready to become a head coach just yet because he needs a little more experience in the top position pretty much on offense. Like you said, Dirk Cutter came in. He was our offensive coordinator, and he got promoted to head coach when Lovie Smith got fired because we had a horrible, horrible defense under Lovie Smith. So that is why he got fired. And
not all that. Like, we need our defense to step it up. Like, I don't need our defense to be how they ended at the end of the year. I need them to take the next step going with the new coaching staff.
Absolutely. With this new coaching staff, too, from what I'm hearing, another unnamed source, I'm not going to put it out there, Bruce Arians is number one. Bruce Arians is number one target right now for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And Ian Rappaport put it out this morning that Bruce Arians texted him that he's familiar with Jason Light. He's close with Jason Light. He would listen if the Bucs inquired about him becoming the head coach of the organization. And from what I've seen, a lot of Buccaneers fans would tend to agree that they want Bruce Arians as the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And if Bruce Arians was to become the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, another name that I would want him to bring with him is Todd Bowles, who just got fired from the Jets. I would want Todd Bowles to become our defensive coordinator, keep Mark Duffner on the staff as the linebacker coach, keep Brinson Buckner as our defensive line coach, and just let it play out just like that.
Now, I have a question because I don't have that information in front of me. Did Todd Bowles run a 4-3 or 3-4 up in New York?
I saw different combinations in New York, so I couldn't tell you the honest truth of what type of defense he ran. But I just know that Todd Bowles' defenses are very successful. He just didn't have an offensive game in New York, and that is why he got canned.
Yeah, and I mean it's New York, so
You also play in a division with Tom Brady, so that's also another reason why he got canned.
yep. Tom Brady, you had a rookie quarterback coming in, so you had your first year, then you have your second year with the rookie quarterback, and it's really tough. Like they were, I guess they're expecting to have that Rex Ryan success where his defense held on and got them to the playoffs with the rookie quarterback, but that's not the norm. You
Mm-hmm.
need time to develop these kids coming in. They shooting. They're not. That's not fireworks, Court. They shooting over there.
That ain't no gunshots. That is fireworks right outside this screen over here.
But yeah. So it sucks that coaches are on a short leash. We all know as Bucks fans, short leash is Western style in Tampa. 2 years, 2 years,
2 year,
2 years.
3 year coaches and you're out
Yeah.
of there.
So it's really hard to get that job security when it's a win now league. My beard just out of control here. Definitely need to cut this.
Yeah, you need to cut it. You're not Ryan Fitzpatrick. You need to cut it now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was on the Fitzmagic. Man. We were talking about that in the group chat. I had my Fitzmagic outfit. Yeah, I was riding high because we was 2-0 with Fitzmagic. But what a whirlwind of a season. And Todd Bowles, I would love to have Aaron's Todd Bowles here. And if we were to switch to the 3-4, that would be perfectly fine because we could put Via Bell right at the nose. Everyone feels that Jerry McCoy probably will not be back. Honestly, I mean, he's been with us his whole career, but
9 years.
Wins.
9 years.
It hasn't equated to wins.
But you can't pin that on him directly.
No,
you cannot pin it on him directly.
Not at all. But I don't think we can do any worse if we were to save some money and use that money elsewhere on the defense, to be honest.
But I bring up a good point right now. Gerald McCoy, as an unselfish person, is willing to renegotiate his contract because he's a team player. But what I'm hearing is the Buccaneers, as an organization, may already be ready to move on from Gerald McCoy. So we'll see what happens in the coming months with all of this free agency stuff that we got on. We got a bunch of people that are going to be free agents. We have Adam Humphries. We have Quan Alexander. We got a bunch that we've got to figure out, along with what we're going to do in the draft. So before the draft even happens, we're going to be addressing free agents and seeing exactly what happens with free agents.
Yeah, we got a long off season to go. We'll get into all that on separate podcasts. Let's jump back just into the game.
Well, before we jump into the game, I wanna put this out right now. All Things Bucks is partnering with Bucks Life News. So go ahead and give Bucks Life News a like on Facebook. Of course, go ahead and give our page a like on Facebook as well, All Things Buccaneers. So I wanted to throw that out there. I forgot to put it out in the beginning. It was officially announced today that we are partnering with them, so we are very looking forward to this opportunity. There's going to be a lot of great things that come out of this.
Yeah, man, that's a major move, major merge right there to be partnering with the organization. So definitely, guys, be on the lookout. Make sure you get on Facebook, make sure you get on Twitter, follow, and everything.
Yeah, so now we're going to go ahead and jump into the game yesterday. Of course, I've already stated that I was at the game. The atmosphere was a little different yesterday. I was a little surprised to see that Buccaneers fans were actually at the game, showing up and showing out, being loud
for 9 months.
Being loud and everything at the game on third downs. It was great to see Bucks fans actually in the stands, but it was also crazy to see how the Falcons had 6 busfuls of fans rolling through, coming in together. But that was just in front of One Buck Place. In the other parking lots, they could have had plenty of more buses. I saw 6 in front of One Buck Place. So the Falcons fans, of course, traveled to the game well, and it was just a great atmosphere the whole time being at the game. Week 17, the last game. We don't have a game for 9 months, so like you said, that could have played a factor in the people showing up to the game because they're a little sad that the season is over with. A disappointing season at that. But it was definitely a fun atmosphere yesterday. You said that you enjoyed the result of the game. us losing on a Matt Bryant game-winning field goal because it boosts our draft value. We
Well,
got the number 5 pick
explain
in the draft.
why it was a good loss. I mean, first of all, we're not playing for nothing. Like literally, winning or losing that game is not going to get us nowhere in the standings. As far as getting us into the playoffs, we're out mathematically eliminated. It's over. So
Long time ago.
yeah, a long time ago. So you want to put yourself in a position to better your team with the next coaching staff. I know the players want to win because you always want to win. You want to go out there and win. But winning that game would have probably kicked us out of the top 10 in the pick for the draft this year. But what we did want to see from this game was how Jameis was going to respond to his last game, how the rest of the offensive weapons would play, how would they respond, how would the young players on defense look going against the offense of the Atlanta Falcons. And I thought they responded well. They came out.
They did. Well. They did absolutely respond very well against the Falcons.
Mike Evans showed why he's a top 5 receiver in this league and the best in franchise history. Chris Godwin had a bounce back game because he had a couple bad games, and he had a bounce back game, 2 touchdowns, 100+ yards. Adam Humphries showed why he needs to be retained as our slot guy. Cameron Brate, I don't know. We might need to let him go. But they say he was hurt all season. But he's going
to have surgery in the offseason. He is going to have surgery in the offseason.
Yeah,
the injury has not been disclosed, but he will be having surgery.
Yeah, but his contract is massive. I mean, it could still be a bridge contract, or we still don't have to play O.J. Howard a few more years. But we'll see. Cause I think that money can be used elsewhere, especially for a running back. I'd rather have us a running back than that extra tight end.
With the running back situation, before you say anything, with the running back position and you wanting a running back based on money, I don't think that we need a running back. I think we need to bolster our offensive line and boost that up because no running back, regardless of elite status or not, is going to succeed behind Caleb motherfucking Benenoch. I will tell you that right now. No motherfucking running back will succeed behind Caleb Benenoch.
I don't think Caleb Benenoch will be here with the new coaches.
That's a questionable decision that they have to make. That's a questionable decision that they have to make. So we will see if Caleb Benenoch is in the Tampa Bay Buccaneer uniform next season.
Caleb, if you watch this, man, bro, look, you got to go. And whoever the next coach is, I hope as soon as they see the tape and they're going to oh, man, let's see what James doing this play and see James about to get creamed because the guy didn't block. They'll be like, oh, he got to go. So, Caleb, and you had the opportunity. Best of luck to you.
You brought up Mike Evans. Congratulations to Mike Evans for being the youngest player ever to reach 6,000 yards in NFL history. So congratulations to Mike Evans for that. Mike Evans also reached over 1,500 yards. He broke the franchise record for yards in the season. So, again, congratulations to him for that. He had a monster game against the Falcons just like Chris Godwin did. I was so happy to see both of them have a great game against those cornerbacks that they have on Atlanta. I was sitting in the end zone, so I got to see a few touchdowns right in front of me. The dime that Jameis threw to Chris Godwin was amazing. The one right before the half was absolutely amazing. I think that was probably Jameis Winston's best throw of the season. I would argue that the throw last week against the Cowboys was in contention to be his best throw for the season until that throw to Chris Godwin. He threw it right into the breadbasket to Chris Godwin in the corner of the end zone, deep, and Jameis can't throw the deep ball apparently. So there's stuff that
if we listen to Twitter, Jameis can't throw the deep ball. When we listen to some player, he can't throw the deep ball. But that's just what they say.
Some player that is already cleaned out his locker in the organization. So that said player is out of here. Adios, said player.
Yeah, he's out. He's out. But yeah, Jameis dropped some dimes yesterday, man. 4 touchdowns.
If he didn't have that fluke interception off of Mike Evans' hands, Jameis Winston has a perfect passer rating in that game.
Exactly. And I was listening to was it Ian Knuckles podcast or Locked On Bucks? But one of the things they were talking about on the podcast was that the Falcons in their last 7 games has allowed 1,000 yards rushing combined for those 7 teams that has played them. And Peyton Barber was actually running the ball decent yesterday, and he still only got 15 carries. It just amazes me how that's the weakness of the Atlanta Falcons. You can't run the ball on them. Like, we're not committed to running the ball on them, making sure we keep their offense off the field.
Dirk Cutter was already probably in the back pocket of the Falcons. That's why. Dirk Cutter was probably already in their back pocket. So,
yeah, he was like, okay, I'm going to secure the draft pick for you guys. We're going to make it close, and then I'm going to let them score at the game to win it.
Yeah, so like you said, Peyton Barber was having a decent game, even though he had 15 carries. Let me address this right now. Your guy, Ronald Jones, 0 offensive touches in the game. 0. I don't know what they're going to do with him. I have no idea. I want to see how a full NFL offseason works for him. He needs to put on some more muscle, I guess. He needs to work on his pass blocking, his pass catching out of the backfield, and he needs an offensive line in front of him. And we will be okay with the 2 running backs that we have. We just need that to happen.
True. I agree. I mean, I would definitely like to see the offensive line beefed up. What's the left tackle? Donovan Smith. A lot of people say he should move.
I'd like to see him move to the right side. Right side.
We want to move to the right side, and us get another left tackle. If we can't find a better left tackle, to be honest, then he got to stay put because we're not trying to get Jameis killed. I mean, he's already getting killed, but you really can't shake it up too much because left tackle just on
yesterday it was improved to the point where Jameis was not getting killed, but we still need to work on that offensive line big time, and that is my priority with that first round draft pick we have. I want to go O-line. I see people want Greedy Williams. I see people want a bunch of different secondary. Yes, we need secondary, but there's a lot of great secondary players in this draft. Maybe we trade the 5th pick and get 2 first-round picks off of it. So who knows? We'll see what happens with that.
And Jason Light is known for trading. So that's a big possibility to happen on draft night. Yep, I would definitely love to get an offensive tackle, the best offensive tackle in the draft if they're available for us when we pick, or getting some more help on the defensive line because the game is won in the trenches. I know you were wanting your offensive guard at number 5, but if it ain't Quentin Nelson, we get a guard later on in the draft, bro, because it's not warranted.
But I mean, we got Alex Kappa later on in the draft, and he rarely got any snaps this damn season. But so
Carter was rotating guards. Like, I've never heard of you rotating a guard for the whole season.
Well, the reason he was rotating guards is because Caleb Benenoch fucking sucks. He fucking sucks.
Just shove him out the game. That's as simple as that. Like, stop playing carousel. Okay, it's your turn. Okay, you out.
He played carousel at almost every position. He played it at quarterback. He played it at offensive guard. You saw it a bunch of different positions this year.
Right. You're absolutely right. And then he put Rojo in the doghouse. Honestly, the second round, and then you line him up at receiver. We've said this on previous podcasts, and he didn't even get any carries yesterday. Like, thank goodness Jacquizz Rodgers, that was his last game as a Buck, because I know damn well he ain't coming back next year. I know the coach that's coming in got some sense, because Jacquizz Rodgers wouldn't be playing on anybody else's team.
I mean, he would be playing on somebody else's roster, just not as a running back.
Where would he play?
He's a special teams player. He'd be playing special teams.
Man, please, bro. He was on the street when we picked him up because we had running back injuries. Like, let's not get it twisted. So for you to put him over Ronald Jones, who's a rookie who needs to get some playing time in meaningless games so we see what we got in him, and you still don't do it, yeah, it's time to go, Dirk. So hopefully Ronald Jones gets a fair shot. I mean, if it doesn't work out, if he's not showing what he showed in college on his tape and his game, going to training camp, going into the preseason, and we're perfectly fine with that, but he didn't even get the opportunity. Like,
Marlon just said in the comments, he said, OMG, I forgot Rojo was on the team. So
yeah, you won't forget he's on the team because you never see him. You know, when you see him on kickoff, when they kick the ball off, you might see his number pop up. But
that's all you ever saw him in this year was special teams pretty much. And when he was active, that's pretty much all he did. He never was on offense. We put him in probably like 5 plays a game on offense. Mm-hmm. Yesterday, he didn't have any offensive snaps. He was just on special teams. So, like you said, hopefully this new coach that comes in, they will be able to use Ronald Jones effectively.
Yeah, I agree. And take a page out of the Browns book. They had 4 running backs. They had traded for 1 running back, made the best man win. Competition, all training camp leading up to week 1. May the best man win. We're putting the best guys on the field. There will be no favorite. There will be no Jacquizz Rodgers getting, third string running back touches because he knows the playbook. Hell no. Whoever's the best talent needs to be on the field. And that's where it needs to begin.
Marlon also just said, do we still have Sean Wilson? Marlon, yes, we do. He went on IR due to injury. So Sean Wilson will be back. Sean Wilson will be back with the Buccaneers.
For now. I mean, we don't know.
No, I think that Sean Wilson will be back with the Buccaneers. It may be as a practice squad player, but Sean Wilson will be back with the Buccaneers.
Yeah. We'll see. I think it's going to be a lot of turnover because new coaches always want their guys, man. They want their guys that can help with the transition.
That's exactly what Jason Light said too. Jason Light said we have a few guys still on the contract for next year, but it's ultimately going to be up to the new coach that comes in that wants his own staff. And if he's impressed with what the Buccaneers had, some of the staff members, then he's going to retain them. If not, then they got to go and lose their job.
It is what it is. They'll get other opportunities. So going back to the game, for Tampa. Vita Vea, man, that young man is just coming into his own. You see him flying. You see him making tackles.
I'm so glad that he's coming into his own because so many people called him a bust and everything. It was like, hold off on the bus talk for a little bit. The man didn't have a training camp. The man was out the first few weeks of the season. He needed to get into game shape, and once he did get into game shape, oh my Lord, the man was pushing people back like it was nothing.
And you see him now making plays. Not only is he pushing people back, he took the next step. He's making stops in the backfield. He's getting sacks. His stats is the same as Jared McCoy's first-year stats. 3 sacks. I forget the number of tackles in the same number of games. And he should have had 4 sacks. The Cowboys paid out the refs to my face mask. Barely grazed his face. Like, it was ridiculous. But he should have 4 sacks, and he should be a defensive tackle that gets you 6 to 8 sacks a season. Once he gets it, maybe he might eclipse 10. I don't know if he will ever eclipse the 10 mark, but he will get you at least 6 to 8 moving forward.
Yeah, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with, especially just like Ronald Jones with the full NFL offseason. He gets to go through all the team programs and everything like that. Speaking of team programs, I went to One Buck Place yesterday and got to tour One Buck Place. That was a great thing. I got to see all the facilities, so I got to see how they eat. I got to see how they train. So they have state-of-the-art facilities that they're going to be using to help these young guys grow into the players that we think that they can be.
Well, hopefully, I mean, One Buck is one of the best facilities I've heard in NFL for the players to utilize with strength training, with their nutrition, with the film session, all that stuff. It's state of the art. So it's one of the best facilities for the players to come in and to get that handle. At the end of the day, it's up to the players to put in the work, especially in the off season. When there's not mandatory meetings, mandatory workouts, and different things that they need to appear in. But whoever's the new coach, whoever's coming in, hopefully they set that. I wish most new coaches, go ahead and set that precedent. Like, okay, you better show up. You better be ready. Here's my conditioning test. Here's the playbook. Here's what you need to know. Because
set the tone. Set the tone.
When the tone is set, let's run. Because they're right. Like, they're right there. JPP said in his press conference by the locker, like, the team is right there. There were a few plays here or there, a few better games, managed games to being in the playoffs. They're really not that far.
The Eagles made the playoffs with 9 wins. So, yes, we were a few games away from making the playoffs. And to be honest, the first few games of the year, we should have been 7-1. The only game we could have really lost was that Bears game. That was embarrassing. But the rest of the games there, we could have won those 7 out of those 8.
Let's not kid ourselves. The Bears whooped that ass, man.
Yeah, I know. I was there with my head down. So
yeah, let's not kid ourselves, man. That defense is legit. But yeah, so we just need the right coach to get in here. and to make those improvements, make this a tougher team. Get the weak links out of here. The people JPP said they ain't got the right mindset. They not keeping it real. Get them out of here. Get them out of the locker room. And let's roll with some dogs. And let's fight. Let's compete. And let's make a culture change in Tampa for real. Because I'm tired of seeing this
Absolutely.
that we've been getting.
I'm tired of coaching carousel where we make firings every other year, every 3 years. So I'm with you on that. Let's just get the ball rolling where we keep a coach for 8 to 10 years, maybe longer. So let's just do it, please.
Yeah, ain't no need to be cute on the field. I know the high flying passing attack is in the NFL. Mahomes 50 touchdown passes, but at the end of the day, they could run the football.
Mm-hmm.
You got to hit some teams in the mouth. You got to, and you got a quarterback who we all believe, me, Cory, most of the staff at ATB, we all believe Jameis can make the plays to put us in position to win. If it came down to a 2-minute drive, I have full faith Jameis can get the job done.
I saw a great 2-minute drive yesterday, right before the end of the first half. That man drove him down the field, and Chris Godwin had that touchdown. That is where he thrives. He thrives in those big game situations. The only problem is he hasn't been in many of those positions because we've had a shitty defense. So
playing from behind,
or these special teams. So that's the issue. We know what Jameis can be. Jameis has had off-field issues, but Jameis looks like, with his fiance now and his baby boy, that the off-field issues are in the past. Big time in the past.
Those issues actually have not happened.
They've been in the past for 2 years. 2016.
So what? That was what, 2015 or 16? Where that last
2016 in Arizona. 2016 in Arizona, right after his rookie year.
Yeah, that was a while back, but it just hit the fan this year where he had to get suspended. So
that's because media likes to blow shit out of proportion, and I've talked to that about with a bunch of people. I've talked about that with them, and they say the same thing. The media likes to grab, this story's coming out. We're going to make it sound like it happened today. It happened today. So this person's going to get punished today. And that's something that's wrong with the media that we have covering both the Bucs and the national media. So like I said, and like you've said, his problems are in the past. We can depend. So I have the utmost faith in Jameis Winston to be our quarterback for the future.
Yep, young guy. I'm telling you, man, worst nightmare. We let that kid go. He going somewhere else, and he gonna have big success. Because you ain't gonna find a Jameis Winston just walking on the street to come play quarterback.
Oh no! But it shows big volumes that the Glazers have so much faith in the man that the option is being retained, and they are looking to be in negotiate a long-term contract. So it shows big things and big faith in Jameis Winston from this organization, even with said problems. And I'm with the organization. I'm with Jason Light. Let's keep this kid. He's a great quarterback. He does so many great things. Yes, he makes mistakes. Nobody's perfect, though. Everybody makes mistakes, especially on the field. Quarterbacks all make mistakes. And
all the time.
In our second half of the season, when he did play, when he came back from the bench, rarely saw a mistake from the man. That shows you that he matured, he grew up, he's ready to take the next step and lead us to the playoffs when he gets a full season. Because this year also was not a full season for him. So when he gets a full season next year, he is going to elevate us to the next level.
For sure. With our special teams, would you bring in competition for Santos?
I would absolutely bring in competition for Santos. And Santos is not even signed to a contract for next year. So we need to handle that anyways. We need to handle signing Santos and then bring in a kicker that makes Santos think, I've got competition. I need to make every single one of my kicks. Yep. And pretty much every game that he played for us this year, he did exactly that. So I have the utmost confidence in Cairo Santos if the organization decides to retain him, which they absolutely should.
Yeah, we got to keep that consistency at the kicking position. He did great job coming in late. Couple blunders. A lot of it was blocked, mishandled snaps. But other than that, he did a great job filling in.
Yeah, and like you said, he did a great job filling in because he did not even start the season with us. He filled in. He came in halfway through the season due to the fact that the Buccaneers have this shitty kicker curse that continues to go on, and we got killed by the kicker that left the curse yesterday.
Yep, they got him field goal ranks. He won the Atlanta Falcons the game, and it's just story of our season. close.
Absolutely. It's the story of a Buccaneers life. Bucks life. It's a Bucks life. So
It's the Bucks life. So yeah, with Jason Light doing the search, there's a lot of good candidates out there for the head coach position. You're gonna keep hearing the rumors of who we're talking to, who other teams are looking at. Jason Light says it's gonna be a thought out search. They're gonna take their time, but also you got to be quick on the gun with other teams pursuing these great candidates as well. So
with the head coach opening right now. So like you said, you got to be quick with the gun. You got to be thorough with the search. And I have the utmost faith in Jason Light to find the right guy. Because when we, promoted Dirk Cutter to head coach, Jason Light was not the guy that was doing the head coaching search. The Glazers were in charge of that head coaching search. They may have put Jason Light's name on it, but the Glazers were in charge of that head coaching search. Now, this is fully Jason Light with an outside organization that has found some gems for different organizations that will definitely benefit us. They don't make the hire, but they go through the process with the general manager, and they help the general manager find the right guy that will help that team. And Jason Light said that there's a bunch of guys that have been blowing up his phone that would love to work with a quarterback like Jameis Winston. So that is a positive. So I have the utmost faith in Jason Light to make the right decision.
I mean, there. It's just a couple things you got to fix on offense. The offensive line and how they feel about the running back, that's going to be their opinion. But you got great weapons on the outside with the receivers and the tight end, and Jameis can get them the football. Just make the game easier for Jameis, and I promise you this offense will continue to thrive.
Will continue to thrive under Jameis Winston in the future when we head coach together.
Yep.
And on that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this New Year's Eve edition of the All Things Bucks podcast. I'm Hayes. You can follow me on 07.
CJ, follow me on Twitter at CoryJ863. Want to let you guys know, man, be safe out there. If you're going out to turn up, if you're going to go party, Uber, have a designated driver. Man, nobody wants that.
AAA will do it for free, so go ahead and hit up AAA if you cannot drive, if you are unable to drive, do anything like that. Please hit up AAA, Uber, or Lyft.
Exactly. So
safe, everyone. And also, don't forget to go and like Bucks Life News on Facebook. Go ahead and follow All Things Bucks on Twitter at All Things TB Bucks. Go ahead and follow our podcast page on Twitter at ATB Podcast _ and continue to look for more content from us, because there will be more content coming in the future on this YouTube page, because it is not going to be just for a podcast anymore. It will be fully All Things Bucks podcast and other contributors. So stay tuned for great news in 2019. And on that note, I want to say Happy New Year, everybody. And like CJ said, please be safe and don't do anything stupid. Go Bucks. Until next year.
Go Bucks, baby.